She was operating in shadows in a couple of areas, kind of some big areas, specifically her sacral. She's a generator, and your sacral, when it's in the shadow, man, your sacral is really powerful. So you want it to be rowing in the right direction. So we're making a couple tweaks. Guess what? Her business exploded. Welcome to the Go Inspire podcast, where we dive deep into everything human design. You'll find this podcast tailored especially for the independent, spiritually aware, free spirit, excited to learn, grow, and experiment their way to their best life. As a lifelong adventure, my empathetic, purpose-driven style is here to help you tackle life's problems, make them more fun, and have you feeling like you have an awkward best friend that just gets you. Join me for each episode to decode your human design chart, talk lifestyle, parenting, relationships, and, well, how to be more unapologetically you. Good morning. I am so happy as always to be back with you. I woke up this morning, I had all these things on my mind, and I needed to come and share with you. I have a little bit of a story time. On today's podcast, we're going to talk about permission as a woman. And it starts because I had two very different meetings with clients this week. So what's interesting about each one of these clients is that one of them is a 2-4 manifesting generator that has sacral authority. The other is a 3-5 generator with, I want to say she also has sacral authority, but based on their profiles, the 2-4 and the 3-5 are just really different. So if you know anything about human design, the 2-4 profile is the epitome of an introverted extrovert. This is a person who knows things deeply. It's almost like they get this download. They don't know why they know what they know, but they know it. And they don't even often know that they know it until somebody tells them that they know this thing. So when they're learning something, they kind of go off on their own, almost like a hermit or a little bit of an introvert. They process it. And then it's as if the world knows when they're done processing it, and then they come looking for them. They pull them back out of their shell to help share this, intuitive knowledge, this inherent knowledge that they have. So the fourth line of that 2-4 profile is very extroverted. They're like a master connector. They connect people. They're a master networker. They're the glue. They're like this social butterfly. They are the person at the party that's floating from one person to the next, talking about, you should go talk to this person because I know that their daughter did this thing that your daughter's trying to do, so we should connect your daughters. Hey, also, you should go talk to this other person because they also used to work at this company that you're trying to get hired at, right? Everybody knows one of these people. There's always one of them at the party. They're kind of the life of the party, but it's in the way that they connect people. Crazy thing about 4 lines is on the surface, that's what you see, but just below the surface, their actual circle is really, really small. And I can attest to this firsthand. My husband is a 4 line, not unlike this client, and his actual circle is really, really small. But everybody loves him. They're drawn to him like a moth to a flame. It doesn't matter where we go. If we go to a restaurant, if we're out and about with the kids, if we're at a football game, he will be off on his own and people will just walk up and need to talk to him. You can see that you can see these guys almost like pacing because they're like, oh, I'm going to talk to that guy. Who is he? I need to know him. I need to talk to him. It's his 4 line like drawing them in. And so anyway, similar to this client, who happens to be a 4 line. Now, the other client, for context, is a 3-5 profile. She's just like I am. So the 3 line is trial and error, learn by experience. It's, I'm going to see all the ways to do something so that now you know all the shortcuts, and you can, we share them with the world as 3 lines. It's almost like we're hacking through the jungle with this machete so that you don't have to. The 5 line is a helper. Sometimes it's called a hero. And we've talked about the 5 line before. So then you know that the 5 line has this projection field where people have expectations of you. And they have these expectations because they inherently know that you can help them with something. People know that you can help them with something. They're not sure necessarily what it is. And they're drawn to you for that. They may not even have this like conscious thought, but they're just drawn to you. And so anyway, if they need to hear something, if they need to be shown something, the 5 line very commonly holds up a karmic mirror. So if you have been here with the podcast for any length of time, if you've been attracted to this podcast, attracted to me, there is a very strong possibility that you're drawn to my 5 line because you're ready for some deep transformation. That's what my 5 line does. That's based on my design. So people who are attracted to 5 line people aren't necessarily surface people. Right? And we could talk about 5 lines for days, but the reality of it is that karmic mirror is like deep transformation. So this is who these 2 women are based off of their profile alone, right? The thing is, both of these women are powerhouses in their own right. Credentialed, they're pillars in their community, tons of integrity, smart women. You know the one thing that absolutely I see that ties them together? Permission. What's interesting is I have so much in common with them both. And it got me to thinking, like, how often as women do we need permission? And why do we need it so much? Why is it like that? Why are we like that? Like, how wild is it that the conditioning of our society has been happening for so long, for so many hundreds, thousands of years, that it's basically in our DNA at this point as women? Both of these women needed permission to be themselves. And I don't mean that to say like, oh, I granted them permission, I have all this power. No, it's empowerment. It's encouragement. Be your whole self. I'm going to tell you the exact same thing. Be your whole self. And I'm going to say it again for those in the back. Be your whole self. Because we need you. The world needs you. The world needs you. My client that I was telling you about, that's a 2-4, pillar in her community, the introverted extrovert. She goes out, different events, different places. She's connecting with people. When she gets home, she's exhausted. These are like emotionally charged places. I happened to be out with her over the weekend. There was a lot of stuff going on. There's teenage boys involved. So at any time that you're out there with the teams and all the things, like, you know, there's hormones and whatever. They're running their mouth. Everybody's got something to say, right? When she goes home, all that emotion, she's exhausted. She has a handful of undefined centers, and one of them is in her emotions. So she's out there soaking up people's intense emotions at these events that she's at, but she's also a 2 line, so she needs that time to recharge. So now she's at home and she's basically hiding out under her blanket because she's so drained, and she feels guilty about it. That's insane. She feels guilty about it. Don't feel guilty. That's part of your design. You're a service to the world. You connect all these people. You held the energy for people to connect with each other. You need a nap, girl, take a nap. Take a nap. But it wasn't until somebody else said, no, that is how you're designed. So lean into your design, and wow. You know what happened when she recharges? She goes out there, she dumps into her community all over again. The power of knowing her design for her is that she can lean into those gifts. And when a woman leans into her gifts, the community, her family, everybody benefits. Every one of us benefits. My other client, man, she is going to do such big, big things. She has a powerful voice. A powerful voice. She's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So much mental processing power, and her ability to break down hyper complex things so the rest of us can understand them. It's wild. It's craziness. So I have crossed paths with this woman in the past. We were like, let's just say team adjacent. So I knew of her. I knew what she was capable of, but we didn't work directly together. So I didn't know her as well as I do now. And when we looked at her human design chart, we also looked at it from the business lens. She's a business owner. She is her business. Her business is her. And her business wasn't where she wanted it to be because she wasn't where she wanted to be. She was operating in shadows in a couple of areas, kind of some big areas, specifically her sacral. She's a generator. And your sacral, when it's in the shadow, man, your sacral is really powerful. So you wanted to be rowing in the right direction. So we're making a couple tweaks. Guess what? Her business exploded. She's about to have her biggest business month, and I'm here to hold the space for that. Now, she's out there doing the work,
But I'm going to hold space for that. I'm going to give her permission so she can go out there and impact other people. It's all really just knowing her human design and permission. Permission to be her whole self. Permission to lean into her design. Permission to be passionate. Permission to go for the things that light her the F up. So, 2 weeks ago, we had our first meeting. Me. Girl, here's your permission slip. Sign, seal, deliver. Here's your permission. She ran with it, knowing her design, leaning into her gifts. And do you know what happened? Speaking engagements. Big fat speaking engagements. And again, I cannot reiterate, her gifts are incredible. One of her gates, her gifts in her human design chart, gate 49, is the gate of revolution. So let me pause. If you're looking at your own human design chart, or actually, if you don't even have your human design chart, you can get one at darciegoins.com. DARCIEGOINS.com. I'm going to link it in the show notes for you. Gate 49 is a gate of revolution. So people who have this gate, myself included, I also have this gate, have a very deep set of principles. And in her case, that gate also shows up in her incarnation cross. Incarnation cross is just a big fancy human design word for her purpose. So it means that that gift is a big part of her energy. So imagine then that you have a woman who is sitting in her power and she gets up on stage. She's speaking to a group of people and she speaks from a passionate place of deep-seated principles. Imagine the power she has. Imagine the ripples that she creates in her community, the ripples that as a world, as a country, we need right now. Speaking from a place of conviction, from passion, from integrity, from doing what's right for people, for caring about people. And she's using this powerhouse of a voice to break down complex topics so we can relate to them. Those are her gifts. Imagine if she had still been sitting in the shadow before she got on stage. Would she have got on stage? Maybe. Maybe she would have figured it out. She probably would have figured it out. She's a real go-getter. Here's what I know for sure. What I know for sure is that what you give to women, we multiply. And when you empower a woman, the things that she can go off and do are incredible, and we all benefit. So, my mission in 2025 is to work with as many brilliant women as I can, to empower them, to give them permission, and to send them back out in the world to share their gifts. I'm lit about it because I can feel this movement already starting to gain steam, and I can imagine the ripple effect that these women will have. The ripple effect that these women will create in our communities, who knows? Maybe you're going to be touched by the ripples that they create. Maybe you're going to be one of these women. And so, if you're curious, start with your human design chart. You can pull it at the link that I'm going to put in the show notes. If you're looking at your body graph chart and you're thinking, what in the galactic spaghetti is this thing? Then reach out. There's lots of ways that we can get you out of the shadows, give you permission, help you understand your gifts. There's the Intro to Human Design course. Start to understand what all those shapes are, what the spaghetti, the channels are, the gates. What's your strategy and authority? Why is that even important? That's all in the Intro to Human Design course. And oh, by the way, you're going to learn about yourself along the way at your own pace. There's personalized guides. You want to cut to the meat and potatoes? Girl, I get it. I'm from the Midwest. Same. Give me some meat and potatoes. I'm here for it all day. It's all of your information, the click down in one place. And if you're like, no, I want the easy button. Also, same. Give me the easy button. Then do a human design reading. I would love to connect with you. I would love to help you understand how all of these things intimately connect and make you, you. There's a lot of layers to human design, and there's certainly a place in your design to start with when you're getting ready to kick off your human design experiment. And I say experiment because you don't have to believe it. You don't even have to trust it. Experiment with it. Try it out. Try out a new way of being and see what gifts come out of that. And, in that experiment, if you're a 3-line like me, you're definitely going to experiment. That's just what we do. Okay. I'm going to put all of this stuff in the show notes for you. 2025. My mission is to work with as many powerhouse women as I can. So if you feel called, if this resonated with you, please share this podcast with a woman that you know. Because as women, we are about to change the game. I promise you that we're going to change things. We are going to have a world where we can lead from authenticity, lead from compassion, lead from empathy, and do it unapologetically. We are going to have a world where we can empower each other, give each other permission, and then celebrate the successes of the women standing next to us. That is the world that I want to live in. And I hope that it's the world that you want to live into. So until next time, I hope you feel inspired to go live your best life. I'll talk to you next time.